welcome. I'm your co-host, Autumn.
And I'm Simone.
So some of us are quite content confining our singing to the shower, especially me. But the jazz music mecca of New Orleans is boasting with vibrant, independent artists that have carved their way onto the scene.
Today, we're joined by the amazing songstress, Miss Nayo Jones. Mm-hmm. So, tell us, Nayo, what are some of your favorite singers and why?
Oh gosh, there's a long list. I'll try to keep it short. To be honest, even though I sing jazz, my first idol is Miss Diana Ross. Okay. I continue to idolize that woman. Even at 80, I think she's 80 now. She's still, lighting up that stage. And so that's how it started. Honestly, I just looked at her and I said, my God, this woman is incredible. Mm-hmm. Especially to see a black woman on stage and being so revered and loved as a little girl. That was incredible to see. Of course, Miss Whitney Houston, there'll never be another. Nancy Wilson, Natalie Cole, those are all my favorites. And when I first started singing jazz, my dad actually told me, listen to Natalie Cole.
Wonderful. So speaking of your father, who is an amazing, great jazz musician, educator, so how has his impact and the impact of your other musicians who are in your family, how did that help pave your way and craft you into who you are today as an artist?
It created such a great foundation, honestly. Even though I grew up playing music, I never wanted it to be my career. I thought I was good at it. It made me happy, during my academic career. And so watching my dad play music and being around it was amazing. But then when I got home from college, I did the corporate thing and I did well, but something's missing, And so my dad would say, come sing a song with me. Nobody knew I could sing but my family and maybe some close friends. And so I said, no, Daddy, because I have stage fright. I still have that. So I said, okay, fine, just to get him off my back. And then it turned into people saying, well, are you bringing your daughter? So I kind of took over his gig. So that's kind of how it happened. And so that created a foundation and really reignited my love for music. My love for music has always been there and never left. But it just reignited my energy to do that. And here I am today.
We love that. Such a beautiful story. Parents, they will push us places we don't want to go. No, sometimes they do know best.
They do.
They do. Now that we know a little bit about your background, what is the Nayo Experience and what do you want people to gain from it?
So the Nayo Jones Experience really came about because it started off Doc and Nayo. Doc Jones is my dad. Mm-hmm. And so when I came to New Orleans, I had to get my own footing, and show that, hey, I could do this on my own. And so, sure, my name is unique. You weren't going to see a lot of Nayos, but Nayo Jones. And I said, what could I call my band? I didn't want to be Nayo Jones and something. And, so I thought, what do I want when I go on stage and when people leave? Well, I wanted them to feel like they had an experience, whatever that experience was. Mm-hmm. I wanted them to feel like it was an experience and that they needed to go back and talk about it. And so that's how I came up with the experience. And from the first note to the last, I just want you to be there with me. It's a journey. And I'm going through the journey with you that night. Every night is different for me in terms of emotions. I sing songs that move me because if I moved, then I can move the crowd. And that's really how the whole thing started.
Wonderful. So what gave you the courage to enter into jazz music? I know that most little girls and boys that want to sing, they're always thinking of their Beyoncés and those type of artists. So what pushed you to be like, hey, I know I'm young and I want to get a young audience, but I'm still going to do that jazz and put my young people on to the jazz music?
Interestingly enough, I tell a joke on stage that when I started singing, my dad said, where do you want to sing? I said, well, Daddy, I want to sing Beyonce. And he said, well, I'm not playing Beyonce. So he said, you know what? I want you to sing some jazz. And I said, no. He said, I don't want you to be a jazz singer. I want you to learn how to sing jazz. Because once you learn how to sing jazz, you can sing anything. And once again, he was right. But then it started sticking. The crowd started coming back wanting to hear me do these songs again. Because if you listen to these songs, they're just stories. And I love the timeless stories that I get to tell in jazz. And so it just kind of stuck with me. It chose me. I still like to venture out and I'll do some R&B and soul and funk. But at the end of the day, people do come to hear me sing some of these jazz standards. And I love to be able to share the stories and try to interpret, you know, some of these incomparable artists and try to interpret it my way. And I have an incredible band that pushes me out of my comfort zone every night as well. So, you know, that's the fun of it.
That's amazing.
It is, it is. So, what is your personal POV? And how do you experience the city of New Orleans, whether that's on stage or out and about in your everyday life?
So, my point of view of New Orleans, when I came here, I moved here from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm originally from Chicago. And I came to New Orleans. I never thought I would live here. But my dad said, you should go there. That's one of the only places where they're still listening to jazz. And they embrace it and they love it. And so when I came here, not just the music, this city just has a heartbeat. It has a soul of its own. And it just grabbed me almost immediately. And it just, I always say she. I don't know why I refer to New Orleans as she. But New Orleans has just been an incredible experience for me in terms of culture. I've traveled all over. There's no place like New Orleans. So when you hear people say, only in New Orleans, it's true. And so that's one of the things that I do embrace about the city, that you're gonna see things here you're never gonna see anywhere else. They embrace music, all types of music, but especially jazz. The food, the culture, the people are as kind as can be. And this city has just been good to me, and I appreciate it.
So, what do you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy to be bigger and more than music. Music is a huge part of who I am and what I do. But in addition to having a great dad, I have an amazing mother who is extremely instrumental in my life and who I am as a woman. And as a little girl, I remember she told me, always be kind. I want you to be beautiful on the inside and on the outside. But if you're beautiful on the inside, people will see it on the outside. And I want people to remember that I was kind, that I was loving, I was generous. And that's really what I want my legacy to be.
That's amazing. Shout out to the moms out there. My mom keeps me together.
Yes.
So where can folks find you, follow, connect with you?
Oh gosh, you can find me online, nayojones.com, Facebook, Twitter, or X, or whatever it's called now, Instagram. Won't find me on TikTok. I don't know how to do it. But you can find me on Spotify and Apple and Amazon Music. I just released a new single called Ask Me Tenderly. And I would like everybody to go and download that tune. It's a great tune written by one of my musicians that I get to work with, Travari Huffboon. It's a really fun tune that I hope everybody will take a listen to and download and stream and all the things. And then you can catch me here locally every Friday and Saturday night. On Friday, I'm at the Hotel Monteleone, the Carousel Bar, at 9 o'clock. And on Saturdays, I'm at the Jazz Playhouse at the Royal Sonesta at 7:30 and 9 o'clock. So I'm easy to find.
Thank you so much for sharing your POV, Miss Nayo Jones.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We loved having you.
Thank you.
And we did.
And if you enjoyed experiencing points that don't disappoint, go ahead, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.
Until next time.
Your mama's good looking, so hush little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings you're gonna rise up singing, and you'll spread your wings, and then you'll take to the sky.